Hi everybody, I'm just gonna show you all some moves that you can counter with when it comes to bum rushing and takedowns. It's nothing fancy. So this is some basic movements, easy things you can do to knock out your opponent. You really must have imagination when you spar. And you are not gonna do the same movements. You may be doing some very fancy things to the face, to your opponent, but remember, all the things I'm doing here, it's many different moves, but all of them are attacks to the head. Nothing like this, or the opponent are just gonna block, 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 high. He just gonna need to block high. But if you do something like this, you're really gonna have a big trouble blocking, because it's both high, middle and low movements. So it's like boop, 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 boop. You see, it's very hard to block everywhere. But another thing you can do when you spar with an opponent you never sparred with before and you want to test it, you can do like, don't attack at all, just block his movement. But before you fight, don't do like this. Don't do like this. If you do that, half of your concentration are lost. But if you stand like this, totally still, watching his every move, still in harmony, stand still. And when he attacks, but the thing is, you got to have the right timing, and you really must know how your body works, and that your techniques always are good, and that a punch, you must know the distance, how long your punch you can hit, and when you're gonna hit. It's the same with the kicks. If you do like this, it's not gonna, you can do like that if your opponent is very near you. It's like, boom. And if it's far away, you just, the hip. You just need to intercept. It's the same with the punches. When your opponent punch, you punch there. When your opponent punch low, you punch low. When they punch a backhand high, you punch with the other hand high. You need to read your opponent's movements. And to read your opponent's movements, you really must have studied them when you're doing them in slow motion. Because when you do them in slow motion, you can see all the movements, the eyes, the shoulders, everything. You see, if I do like this, what the fuck happened? If I do like this, you really can see the movements. So that's the important thing. And if you see the movements before I got hit, you can, when you telegraph your movements, that's what I'm talking about. If you telegraph your kicks, if you telegraph your punches, then you can make a clean intercept. So when you do attacks, don't show the movements. If I stand like this, nobody should even think about that I'm gonna do a kick. The kick are just gonna. So if I'm gonna stand like this, and then it's the same with the punches. And if you're gonna attack very fast and precisely, and with a lot of combinations. Don't just do like bah, bah. Do more like and like Bruce Lee said, everything must flow like water. So when you do some movements, don't stop and think. It must be like a flow. It must be the same beat. The same beat, the same flow. You are not just gonna move to the beat, you really must like kick and punch to the beat too. So it's like that's the way you're gonna do it if you're gonna do a nice combination. Because if you stop right in combination when you're going to do a spin kick or whatever, your opponent can intercept. And when you're going to kick or punch, you really must kick and punch with power and speed. When it comes to the punch, this is fast without power. This is fast with power. So here is a kick without power. Here is a kick with power. I don't have any disrespect to grappling, but don't rely on it too much. Because it's never okay to run into a foot or a fist. Like, if a guy trying to rush you like this, you can just knee, or you can just fast kick. And you must be just as fast as the rush. So when you are like here, you are fast. And you got a clean hit or whatever. And if you're on your back like this, sure you can do some movements like, but I mean, you are very vulnerable. What can I do here? I mean, you can do a leg trap like this, put his head between the leg, and whatever. I mean, there's endless possibility both on the ground and on when you stand up. But I don't like this ground thing. I mean, if I'm going to fight on the ground, I'm going to kick on the ground too. I mean, and hit. I mean, you can do many things on the ground too, without grappling. But some grappling moves you really need to have on the ground too. If your opponent are on top of you and try to pin you down, I mean, you can do like this. I know this from judo. You're like this, and then like that, and then your opponent gonna flip over, and you are standing up.